What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. We are back with another new look rebuild, and today we have the San Antonio Spurs, who, as we know, had the #1 overall pick this offseason. The new era for this team is the Victor Wembanyama era, so today let's just jump in and talk about everything else they've done along with Vic, and we're going to be doing a new look San Antonio Spurs rebuild. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like in this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. We are on the road to 40,000 subs. Of course, the first stop is going to be 39K, but after that, all we see is 40K in the future, which is amazing. So if you want to hit that sub button to join that train, you're more than welcome to. But regardless, I will say, as I'm recording this, the Spurs in real life have 17 players on their roster. Of course, 2K only allows you to have 15. So I believe the two players that will be missing from this roster, if it bothers you, is Sandro and Cameron Payne. So I apologize if that's an inconvenience to you for this rebuild. Unfortunately, 2K only allows you to have 15 players on a roster when you go into the season. So that is the two guys that I believe are missing. But if you take a look at the rest of the roster, of course, Victor Wembanyama was the main addition this offseason. They drafted him with the #1 overall pick. The expectations for this guy are through the roof, so hopefully he can meet those expectations and then some. Then the other thing the Spurs have really done, I think they brought back Trey Jones. I think that was like the very beginning of the free agency. But they brought in like Reggie Bullock, Osman. They've been a lot of like three-team trades, like where they facilitated some trades. Of course, Cameron Payne's supposed to be here as well. But that's mainly it. It's the Victor Wembanyama edition, of course, also being like a facilitator and three-team trade. So let's take a look at the rotation going into year #1. And then one thing I've also done is the main thing they've done is, of course, they extended Greg Popovich. So I went in to fix his contract. Hopefully he does not retire and we can have him throughout the video. So that's pretty important to point out. Regardless, rotation going into the season is Trey Jones, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, and Victor Wembanyama. Now, I think there's a world where they maybe start Collins and Wemby together. I don't know if they will or not, but for me, I'm just going to roll with what 2K suggests for now, and we'll kind of roll with this starting five. With, obviously, Zach Collins, as I said, Malachi Branham, Devontae Graham, Reggie Bullock, and Charles. So that'll be our rotation. Unfortunately, the only guy that I really care about that's not getting minutes would probably... Oh, and of course, they drafted Sid. I forgot to mention him. And they signed Julian Champagnie as well. But Sid is someone I would love to give minutes to eventually as well. So I'll throw him kind of up there. Maybe prioritize him over Osman. That way, Sissoko, how do you say his name? City can go ahead and play some minutes if need be. But proficiency, we're going to move this to a balanced system. And we're going to just run this season and see how it goes. I don't plan on stopping the trade deadline. I'm not in a huge rush for this team. I mean, I think Vic is going to make us pretty good pretty quickly. But if we can just add more talent to him, of course, and then this rebuild is going to be pretty fascinating, I would imagine. So we're going to go ahead, simulate year #1. I do want to look at shot tendencies real quick as well before we do that. So Vic's is at 83. I'm going to leave that the way it is. Vassell, I want to push up just a little bit. And I was wondering what Keldon Johnson's is. I'm going to push him up too. So we'll do something like that. Maybe we'll push Sohan up to like a 69, something like that. And I think that'll be it. And then we'll go ahead and just submit the season. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if I have playoff expectations for this year, but hey, a play-in spot in Victor Wembanyama's rookie season, that'd be pretty cool. At the end of year #1, Jason Tatum ends up winning MVP. You got Vic winning Rookie of the Year, averaging 18 and 10. Pretty good efficiency as well. Chris Paul is 6th man, Giannis Offensive Player. Evan Mobley most improved, and Joe Mazzulla is your Coach of the Year with the Celtics at 69 and 13. I don't imagine we have any All-NBA representatives. I mean, I'm sure Victor Wembanyama will be up here eventually, but we do probably have him on, of course, All-Rookie First Team when she does make it, and here's our All-Rookie Second Team. So we end up as, of course, on a playing team. We're just not ready for that, which is totally fine. I wasn't in a huge rush for this team to be like really good right away. We had 18.5 from Vic, 17 from Keldon Johnson, 15 from Malachi Branham, 12.5 from Zach Collins with 0.9 blocks off the bench and 7 rebounds, and then 12 from Jeremy Sohan, 12 from Vassell, 10 from Graham, 7 from Trey Jones, and then 5 from Charles with 4 and 5. Now, I will say, I got Charles in the Bulls video, and he was an absolute stud. So, there's a chance we let Charles develop into that backup 5 for us and we move on from Zach Collins, although I do like Zach Collins a lot as well. We'll see, though. I'm not going to promise that. We could also move Collins to the 4. That's also a possibility, so we might just do that. We got Trey Young and the Hawks versus the Suns. And you got the Hawks going on to win the championship. So let's get straight into the offseason. LeBron James retires a Laker. Chris Paul retiring a Warrior. I want to make sure Greg Popovich doesn't retire, and it doesn't look like it. So we're good there. Let's just go straight to the draft lottery because we're here once again. So draft lottery time. We are projected pick number 3 via Toronto, and then our own pick at number 6. Now, I don't know if Toronto's pick is protected or not. I'm not 1,000% sure. I think it is. I don't know what the protections are on it. But maybe we get 2 lottery picks here, but I feel like Toronto's pick is protected. I just don't know what the protections are. Let's see what happens. So yeah, Toronto, it was protected in some way. We get the 7th overall pick, which doesn't hurt me too much because the main thing we kind of need on this team right now is a point guard. Trey Jones is cool and all, but if we can get like a really good point guard for this team, that's probably the main thing we need. We can easily get that in the draft. Minnesota gets the #1 overall pick as well, which is kind of wild. So Minnesota #1. You have Wizards, Raptors, Thunder, Rockets, and then of course us at pick 7. So let's get straight to work. And of course, we don't need a head coach. We got our man in Greg Popovich. We're going to fill this out, and I will see you guys on draft night with what we decide to do. So here we are heading to draft night with the 7th overall pick in this draft. I don't know if we have another pick. I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest with you. So yeah, we don't have another pick, but next year we have 5 future firsts, which is actually kind of wild. Toronto's pick may be protected again, so I'll have to double check that, but Hornets pick is a lot protected. Bulls, and then Hawks, Spurs, Raptors. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. We have the potential at 5 firsts next year, which is wild. But is there anyone else I'm looking to trade on draft night? Man, I would love to get rid of Devontae Graham because I think I'm about to draft a point guard. I probably could just keep Trey Jones as the backup. So if we can move on to Devontae Graham on draft night, not saying I'm looking to get like a good haul for him, but just to get rid of him, you know, he can go to a different team, be a contributor somewhere else. So like the Jazz are offering me a 2nd round pick. Let's say we just do that. I don't know if Graham's worth a first, especially an unprotected Minnesota pick. So Graham for a 2nd. We move on from him. The Jazz get themselves a guard that they can use. So we'll do that. That's going to be like the only thing we do on draft night. So let's see how the draft goes. So Buzelis goes #1 to Minnesota. So that's kind of an interesting pick for them. Amari goes #2. You got Dillingham going #3. Would have loved him as well. Ron Holland. If Wagner falls in my lap, that's the guy. The Knicks get Justin Edwards. So we could take either Isaiah Collier or DJ Wagner now, and also there's like Mikey Williams, but I have been drafting DJ Wagner, I feel like, more than I have been drafting the other point guard. So I think I'm going to go ahead and change it up here, and I'm going to draft Isaiah Collier. I don't know if Wagner is like the overall better prospect, but I have been taking him like in a few videos in the past. So I'm going to go with Isaiah Collier here to change it up, and then we're going to go to our 2nd round pick, and we're also going to draft let's go Taylor Bowen here for that selection. So not sure he'll play a huge role, but Collier is a 78. Wagner, of course, would have been cool as well, but I guess Collier is better overall than Wagner in this draft. So we'll go ahead and sign both our rookies, player options, so on. Brandon, Charles, Wesley, Sid. We're gonna go ahead and accept all of those. Qualifying offers, Vassell, someone I do have interest in bringing back. What did he do for us last year? He averaged 12 points and pretty good shooting. We'll see how much he's asking for. But free agency, I mean, technically speaking, we have Greg Popovich probably in his last run, so we could go ahead and maybe spend some money in free agency. Jaylen Brown is here. Of course, he just signed the extension today. It looks like he is going to go back to Boston, which is good. I need to fix that. That's something I forgot to fix really quick. But yeah, we could maybe potentially throw some money at someone. It's like definitely a possibility. If like there was a position I would throw money at, it would easily be like the shooting guard spot right now. I do like Malachi Branham, and that would be like our way of moving on from Devin Vassell, I guess. It kind of depends, though. Of course, Jaylen Brown was available. Maybe we could just think about just throwing him money. But shooting guards that we could throw money at, that might be worth it. I'm not sure I really see it, to be honest with you. Like, we could throw it at Clay, but he's 34. Like, I would be cool with, like, getting, like, a really good player. But, like, Lonzo Ball would be pretty interesting. But at the same time, I'm more looking for, like, a guard who could play the 2, which Lonzo technically could. I mean, Lonzo, if we want to do, like, a reclamation project with Lonzo Ball, bring him into San Antonio, I don't hate it. It's just like, I don't know what his future holds. We just drafted our point guard, so I'm going to let Isaiah Collier be that guy there, and then Trey Jones will be the backup. So mainly I'm looking at the 2 spot. And there's a certain guy out there that I kind of like the idea of. He's just not here in free agency. Of course, Maxey. Like, if I can get Tyrese Maxey from the 76ers and steal him away, like, of course, I would love to do that. I just think they're going to match it easily. But we'll try it anyway, so we'll go ahead and offer it. You know what? Hey, 76ers don't match it. We get Tyrese Maxey in the team. That's different from what I usually do. We only have Greg Popovich for so long, which I think for me, that means we're moving on from Vassell. I think we can move on from him. So Maxey is our new guy. Vassell can go somewhere else. And then we can re-sign Zach Collins. I'll move him to the back of 4. So that is what we're going to do. So yeah, I love the new addition of Maxey. I did not expect the 76ers not to match it. That's actually insane. So I'm going to go ahead and move Collins to the 4. So if we look at our new team, we have Trey Jones, Collier, Maxey, who maybe should be playing point guard more than he should be playing shooting guard, but it's fine. We'll figure it out later. Branham, and then you got Keldon Johnson, Sid. You have Zach Collins, Jeremy, so on, and then Vic and Charles, who I'm giving the backup 5 role too. So we got our guy with Tyrese Maxey. I'm pretty happy about it. We got Vic going up, Maxey going up. I mean, Maxey's a legitimate player next to Vic. Collier, he may be, I don't know what we're going to do with him just yet. I mean, we still could run with a small backcourt of Maxey and Collier because Vic is a good defender that I feel like we can make up for it, and then so on as well. So maybe it doesn't matter too much, but if there is ever like, you know, we kind of just are too small in the backcourt, we need to make a move, we could probably trade away Collier if we need to. We'll see though. But let's take a look at what we're looking at going into next year. I'm pretty excited about having Maxey, someone I don't often get. I know the 76ers most likely would just match in real life, but you know, I've seen some people complain about me not using my cap space enough, so here you go. I got it done. So Trey Jones, Maxey, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sochan, Vic is your starting five. With Zach Collins off the bench, Malachi Branham, Isaiah Collier, and then Charles, and then Blake Wesley. I actually personally just want to go ahead and start Isaiah Collier right away. I'm just going to do that. I want Collier to be the guy if we're going to keep him around. He does develop very nicely as well in this draft class. Yeah, I'm feeling good about that. Proficiency's up to 3.5 with Maxey coming in. Of course, he's going to take a huge role here. How much is his shot tendency? It's only a 65. I'm quite shocked about that. I'm going to push that up like really highly. So probably next to Vic's. Maybe boost Vic maybe just a little bit more. But yeah, Maxey, I need him to be the guy here. We just threw him money for a reason. Let's go ahead and simulate year 2. And I honestly could foresee us making a play-in spot this year, if not just making the playoffs. JT wins back-to-back MVPs for the Celtics, 31 points once again. DJ Wagner actually takes Rookie of the Year, so obviously we had the chance to draft him. We took Collier instead. 16 and 7.5 from him. Markelle Fultz, 6-man. Evan Mobley, defensive player. Cade Cunningham wins most improved, 27 points. And then Joe Mazzulla once again for the Celtics. Do we get Vic making all? Yes, he does. He already makes an All-NBA team. 24 and 12 with 2 blocks. I mean, not too surprising by that. All-NBA third team, and then all-defensive first team, and all-defensive second team. So we ended up as the 3rd seed in the West. I told you that I would not be surprised if we made the play-in spot, and we went from not making the play-in or playoffs at all to obviously being in there. 24 from Vic, 22 from Maxey, 15 from Branham, 14 from Johnson, 11 from Jeremy Sochan, 11 from Zach Collins with 6 rebounds, and then 7 and 8 from Isaiah Collier, which is what he brings to the table. Very good playmaking point guard. And then 6 and 6 with a block from Charles off the bench, backing up Vic. Not too bad. So now we get the Portland Trail Blazers in round 1. Of course, they have Scoot, Simons, Matisse, Jeremy Grant, Nurkic, Dame, Shaedon Sharpe, bunch of guards. Of course, Portland has not traded Dame in real life yet. We'll see when that happens. I have no idea when. Similarly, current round against Portland, and they're up 3-0 on us, so we probably are going home. Unless we come back from 3-0 deficit, which, you know, is technically possible, but I'm not going to be a betting man. They want to start Trey Jones. I don't know if I agree with it. Whatever. At this point, it doesn't matter too much. Once again, we're not under like a lot of pressure to win a championship right away. We probably overachieved this year by being where we're at, but right now we're giving Portland problems. They're not able to close the deal just yet. 33 and 31 from Maxey and Vic combined. And here we go. Let's see if we can come out here and force a game 7 and put all the pressure in Portland's lap. And it's potentially going to happen, but the Blazers are going to hang strong, and they do win. 123 to 1 or 124 to 135, 36 and 16 from Vic. Not too bad. Let's simulate the playoffs, and let's go ahead and see how this goes. You got the Thunder and the Celtics, and you're going to have the Celtics go on and win the championship. All right. So we went from not making the playoffs to just straight up being the 3rd seed in the West. So I feel like, oh, and we have all these draft picks this offseason as well. I have no idea where these are going to end up. So let's just take a look. So lottery. So I think I saw my name at least once, but it's twice. So the 3rd overall pick for the Raptors, I'll have to double check to see if that pick actually belongs to us, if it does fall into the top whatever. And we have the Chicago pick as well, which is really nice. So let's see what happens. And the Raptors pick falls to 7, which really sucks. And then we also have, okay, so that's it. So we have 7, we have 18, we have 28. So we have some good picks. And then 18 and 25. So we have 4 firsts, I believe, if not 5. I don't see my name 5 times. I think it's only 4 times. And I have to make sure that Spurs or that Toronto pick actually belongs to us as well. So there's no guarantee it does. This is the 2025 offseason. So I'm going to take a look and do my research on that pick real quick. And I will get back to y'all. Because if we have all these picks, there is a great chance that I go ahead and look to make a move to further strengthen our team of being a contender next year. So doing my research on that pick is actually top 6 protected. So yes, we do get to keep this Toronto pick at pick number 7. So I'm going to try to move 18, 25, and 28 to move up into the lottery even further. So let's see if we can walk away with like maybe 7 and 10 in this draft, something like that. So let's see if we can do that. So if we take a look, if we move 18, 25, What draft class is this? Is this the Cooper Flag draft class? I think it might be. I could be totally wrong though. So if I can do the right thing, mock draft. So no, Ian Jackson though is here, Nasir Cunningham. So it's still a really good draft class, but not quite the one I was thinking about. But I think there's a chance he's about to reclassify. I think, if I'm not, I don't know. Regardless, 18, 25, 28. I'm gonna try to move up to pick 10 in this draft. Most of the small forwards I was maybe thinking about like trading up for or trading for are all free agents. Like I wanted to go for like a big swing, and Dallas has a 10th overall pick. What do they say to that? They say no. I will also give you Champagne, and they agree. So that's all it took, and we have 7 and 10 in this draft. We also have a bunch of second rounders as well, which I'm not sure that's going to matter. So let's go and see what falls to us. So Ian Jackson goes 1, Harper goes 2. We got Newell, Trey Johnson, Isaiah, Cunningham. I would have loved Cunningham to fall in my lap, but we have Barris, who is pretty damn good. So I'm going to take him with this first selection. And then I think if Cody Williams is here, yep, that's the next selection. So just like that, we walk away with our 2 guys in this draft. I don't know if they'll stay, but I'm very happy with those 2 picks if they do. So Cody Williams and Barris, welcome to the team. Very, very good selections. And then player options, we have Bowen, who I'm going to go ahead and actually, I'm going to accept it. We're going to accept it. And then Vic, so on, Brandon, Bassie, or Charles, however you say his name. And then Blake, we'll bring them back. Qualifying offer, Sid. I definitely have interest in bringing him back if we can just keep him around on the team. Hasn't been able to crack the rotation, obviously, but I would love to still keep him around. And then free agency, we don't really have any money to go out there and do anything too crazy. So we might have to hold off on making like a big trade because we just don't have the cap space. And the guys I was looking for are all free agents right now. So Collier and Blake Wesley, Maxi, Malachi Branham, Keldon Johnson, Cody Williams, and then Zach Collins and Jeremy Sowan. And of course, we drafted Barris and we have Charles. So I think that's going to be it. We're not going to spend any money in free agency. I want to kind of hold all my... Well, actually, we might still pay Trey Jones because worst case scenario, we can use him in a trade at the deadline unless we have somebody else we can move. Yeah, we're going to resign him. We're going to resign him still. That way we can trade. Ooh, Tatum, but I think I'm just far off. Yeah, so I'm not going to be able to do anything there. So Trey Jones, we're going to give him a deal, bring him back. He'll be our backup point guard once again. And then Sid, we'll go ahead and resign him to a deal. That way we can maybe throw him in a trade as well if need be. So that's kind of where we're at. So we're going to go ahead and find him. And then at the deadline, be on the lookout as a name or for a team that might be making a big swing for a better shooting guard or whatever it may be. So that was a wrong name. So we're going to go ahead, re-sign Sid. I'll see you guys at the rotation. So rotation going into this season is still Isaiah Collier, Tyrese Maxey, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sowan, Vic, Malachi Branham, Zach Collins, Trey Jones, and Barris. So the game plan basically is to kind of just simulate till the trade deadline and kind of see what's out there. What I really want to do is be able to grab either a shooting guard or a small forward that could just push us over the top and we can be contenders literally this season. The window of Greg Popovich is closing. He's only got whatever many years left in his contract. So I'm trying to win a championship before he retires. Get him one more ring. So we're going to be super aggressive once we get the trade deadline. Ideally, I'd rather be playing Maxi at the point guard spot. So if that means moving Collier, that's fine. And then Keldon Johnson, we move him to the 2, or we get a new 3, or I don't know. We're going to figure it out. That's kind of the game plan. I will see you guys at the trade deadline, hopefully, to take that big swing we're looking for to push this team over the top. So we are stopping the trade deadline. We're 33 and 22 on the season. As I told you, I'm looking for a really good wing at this trade deadline. I was kind of taking a look at team intels for every single team, and these are the 3 teams that I'm kind of wanting to talk to. So it's between, I guess New Orleans, we could throw them in the conversation as well, but it's kind of between Detroit, Toronto, and Houston. Now, Houston is contending, so it's going to be a little bit tougher to make a trade with them. We're getting like a Jalen Green, a Brandon Ingram, Jabari, all those would be fun. So Houston's probably off the list. Toronto's got Kawhi, so we could bring Kawhi back to San Antonio. I don't know if I want to do that, though. OG Anunoby, he's kind of cool. But this one is where I'm really looking at it, because Detroit somehow got Scotty Barnes from Toronto, and he's an 89 overall, 24 years old, and they just drafted Ian Jackson, and they're listing him as untouchable. So we can immediately draft Barnes, throw him at the 3, and just kind of make it happen. I don't know if it'd be the best fit in the world, but it is 2K, so it's not really going to matter that much, but that's just talent. So Barnes and Vic, I don't know how well that would work, don't get me wrong, but it's the guy I really want, to be honest with you. Somehow marketing is making $2 million with the 76er, which is wild. And then Miles Turner went to the Warriors. Shout out to him. Shaden Sharp would be cool as well. But again, as I told you, my eyes are set on Mr. Scotty Barnes. So 90 overall, 17.5 points per game. Not shooting the best from 3. But we'll make it work. Scotty Barnes, 90 overall. That's what I'm going to try to go for. So he is making 34 million. So we're going to have to get to that landing spot, or however much, like I said. So I think we're going to have to include Trey Jones, who I signed for a reason. So Trey Jones, and then we're going to include also like Cody Williams, which I was fine with. And then Zach Collins probably have to be in the trade as well. We're probably getting to the point where that might be. And then Collier, I would be fine with putting in the trade because we do have Blake as a backup. So I would hate to trade away Isaiah Collier. We're giving up a lot of young talent, but we're consolidating it for a guy like Scotty Barnes. And we may just be better off eventually just waiting on all these guys to develop. Don't get me wrong. But I'm trying to win a championship now. And I just think Barnes is going to be able to do that for us. And they don't agree to that right away. Bulls pick, unprotected, and they agree. So we got Scotty Barnes. I wanted to go ahead and accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. So what we're going to do, we're going to move Maxey to the point guard, which he goes up, and Keldon Johnson is going to go to the 2. Now, he does go down. But this is your new rotation now, and I think it just makes a little bit more sense. So Maxey and Keldon Johnson as a backcourt, which is nice. And then Barnes, Sohan, Wembanyama, Branham with Barris, Charles, and then Blake. Now, we might have to move Barris or Charles to the backup 4, which is totally fine. So I don't know what the spacing like would be for like either of them. Neither one of them are great three-point shooters, but we're just going to have to do it. So we'll just roll with it. So Barris will be the backup 4. And that's what we'll go with. So hopefully he can develop a three-point shot. Who knows? So that is what we're looking like going into this rest of the season. So Scotty Barnes was the addition I made. We're trying to go win a championship. We're up to 4.5 proficiency. As long as we win a championship, that trade was worth it. I understand I traded away a lot of young talent, but we're trying to accomplish our goal. And that's basically the main thing we're trying to do here. Darius Garland wins MVP. Ron Hall is your rookie of the year for the Thunder. Markelle Fultz, 6-man Giannis defensive player. Keontae George, most improved. And Quinn Snyder is your coach of the year. Vic, once again, makes an All-NBA second team. And here we are going into these playoffs. We are the first seed in the West. To be expected, we were like the third seed when we stopped, I think, if I'm not mistaken. 26 from Vic, 24 from Maxey, 7.5 from Barnes, 16 from Keldon Johnson, 15 from Branham, and 12 from Jeremy Sohan. So I'm hoping this is it right here. We get our championship and the video's over. And we feel very accomplished. We'll see if that's the case, though. Denver in round 1, they have Trey Johnson now with same starting 5. So basically, they replaced KCP with Trey Johnson. So somebody current round against Denver, and we are going to beat them in 5. So they only took 1 game on us. We take care of them. But now we run into the Thunder, who have Shea, Rozier, Tobias Harris, Jalen Williams, Chet. They lost Josh Giddey, which is quite surprising. And KCP is on the Thunder. They do have 2 young wings in like Holland and Cunningham. But not the fact that they don't have Giddey on their team, I feel like gives us the edge. We'll see. Somebody could run against Oklahoma City. And yeah, they weren't even a competition. But now we get the Houston Rockets. Now, Houston is one of those teams that is very tough to beat. They've added Brandon Ingram, and their bench is just nasty. So I don't feel like we're going to be able to escape this with just some easy victory here. So we're going to go game by game on this one with Brandon Ingram on the Rockets now. That was one guy I was particularly looking at as well, bringing him into the team. But you know, he's signed with the Rockets. So Battle of Texas teams here. Game 1. We're up 1-0. We beat them by 16. 27-26 from Maxey. 21 from Scotty Barnes. So far, we've only lost 1 game in these playoffs until now, right? No, up 2-0. 127-106, 26, 23, and 20. 18 from Barnes. Game 3. 3-0. And do we just literally dominate the Rockets? Wow, that's actually quite surprising. I thought for sure they would give us some problems, but maybe Scotty Barnes was the right guy. I feel like we're just kind of like the perfect team together. I don't know. Like Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, I feel like are the perfect 2 wings to have next to these 3. It's just working for some reason. So, but we do run into the Atlanta Hawks, which, as we know, Atlanta is very annoying. They have Bol Bol on their team as well. Let's see how this goes. Game 1. So far, so good, man. We're actually just like dominating these playoffs so far. I don't think I've had this dominant of a playoff run, and I don't know. 2-0. Are we about to literally just sweep? I was about to say, there's no way we just sweep the Hawks, right? And we're up 3-1 though. And if we take care of them here, that might be my most dominant playoff run we've had in quite some time until Atlanta decides that no, it's not going to be the case. And Atlanta's not going to go down without a fight. Okay, 118-131. They don't force a game 7 though, right? Let's go. We won in 6. Okay. So Atlanta gave us problems at the end, but we won in 6 games. Vic is your finals MVP, 26.5, 11 rebounds. And ultimately, as I said, the goal was to get Greg Popovich a ring. And we've done just that before the man retires. He gets another championship. And that's with Victor Wembanyama. We added Maxey and Barnes to the team. The Spurs are a team. They're going to be a lot of fun in the future. They're going to be a contender, I imagine, pretty soon. I'm assuming they're going to take one last big swing with Popovich. We shall see, though. I hope you guys enjoyed this video regardless. I'll see you on the next one. As always, this Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.